This is the good stuff, and we're going to continue with this. The Commission recognizes Frank Fisk, Chief of the Fisheries Division.
I'd like to start out by recognizing the Technician of the Year, if I could. Our fisheries technicians are the men and women that work in a few basic roles in fisheries at the hatcheries, doing fish survey work, creel surveys, habitat work, and every year it's very difficult to pick the best of the best because we really do have the best technicians. But this year we were able to select one, and that person is Perry Massengill. He works as a Technician 2 in the Region 3 Reservoir Fisheries crew, where he's been working with us for 20 years. In addition to doing a variety of fish survey work, he's also entrusted with that tedious task of taking all the data and getting it in the right place in our fisheries databases. And he has a sincere commitment to the anglers, and it's evident in all the work that he does throughout the year. Perry really understands the value of working with the next generation of anglers. Some of the special work that he did in the last year involved working with his colleagues to conduct workshops with local high school fishing teams. In these workshops, I'm sure he's showing them some good fishing spots, but he's also teaching these youngsters how to check their trailers and all this for nuisance species to make sure they're not carrying unwanted hitchhikers. Perry also manned a booth for the Rowe County elementary students during the Earth Day celebration to share information about local fishing opportunities and fisheries in general. He also served on an advisory board in the Ray County High School to develop job descriptions for wildlife and fisheries management careers, which should play into the success we heard this morning. This award is also a great opportunity to acknowledge Perry's work with the annual Chuck Copeland Memorial Fishing Rodeo, which is one of the largest events in the state. Each year, Perry takes the lead in planning the event, arranges for special guests, and works on prizes and donations. And 2016 was no different, and without his dedication to this event, it would not be the success that it is. I want to congratulate Perry, the 2016 Technician of the Year, and welcome his supervisors to come on down and share in the honor.
Connie wants to know why he requires so much supervision.
We still need you.
All right. Next, I'd like to announce the Fisheries Biologist of the Year, and this year that honor goes to John Hammonds. He has been with the agency for 12 years, where he has served as a reservoir biologist and is currently the coordinator for the reservoir operations in Region 4. He is responsible for reservoir fisheries programs focusing on fisheries data collection and habitat improvements. He was nominated because of his outstanding efforts in developing and implementing the very innovative reservoir habitat management projects and assisting on aquatic nuisance species issues. John has done an exceptional job in administering and securing reservoir funding opportunities for the agency and addressing habitat permitting issues for area reservoirs. His efforts in applying and receiving formal 26A permits from Tennessee Valley Authority has ensured that reservoir habitat operations in the region are properly authorized. In the last 18 months, John has played a key role in securing approximately $380,000 in funding to assist with cooperative projects for reservoir habitat and shoreline vegetation in regional reservoirs. These funds have been specifically targeted at developing long-term habitat structures known as reef balls that will be placed in reservoirs and also for addressing shoreline vegetation in Boone Reservoir. The agency was contacted by TVA to assist with shoreline vegetation management that would help with soil erosion and ultimately be beneficial to fish habitat once the project's over. And John really enthusiastically dove into this project. It's one of those things a project that needed a personal involvement to really get it going. There's a lot of private landowners that needed to work and participate in this project, and John was able to get them involved, and that really is what turned the tide on that project. So his efforts are now being focused on these properties, all these private landowners and public land where the seed bank is deficient right now. Native grasses, sunflowers, and flowering plant mixes along with woody vegetation such as buttonbush are being planted. The project will continue for another 2 years with the hope that all program goals will be addressed. And this, he does a lot of work on these habitat issues, but he's also interested in the aquatic nuisance species. We've discovered zebra mussels in a local quarry, and John has gone to assist agency personnel and the owner of the quarry to develop some disinfection stations so that when divers go into this quarry, they don't carry these critters home with them to other reservoirs. And if this is not enough, in a typical year, John also continues to be an active chair for the outreach committee of the Tennessee chapter of the American Fisheries Society. He has always been willing to assist other work units and regularly helps out on harvesting hatchery ponds, stream surveys, public programs, and administrative support. He has also been involved with the trout and the classroom projects in his hometown of Newport and conducts streamside ecology programs with the local schools there each year. So there's really not a lot John doesn't get into, and I'm proud to congratulate him as the Biologist of the Year for 2016. Come on, John.
Lieutenant Colonel Moats is recognized on behalf of the commission. I believe he has an award to make.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like to recognize 2 officers today who demonstrated outstanding service in boating safety for the year of 2015. The first officer that I'd like to call And recognized today as our part-time boating officer of the year for 2015, it's Melvin McLaren. Melvin is assigned to work District 21, a 12-county district in Middle Tennessee that contains 5 major reservoirs: J. Percy Priest, Old Hickory, Cordell Hull, Cheatham, and Barkley, which are all near Tennessee's capital city of Nashville. He does this under the leadership of Lieutenant Jim Hooper and Captain Dale Grandstaff. Officer McLaren excelled in the area of law enforcement in 2015. He inspected 567 boats for compliance, issued 85 court citations for violations, 56 warning citations. He administered field sobriety tests to 14 boat operators and made 2 arrests for boating under the influence. Additionally, Melvin assisted other TWRA officers with 9 BUI violations and helped 43 boaters on the water that required immediate assistance. Melvin worked patrol at major public marine events in the Nashville area, including Independence Day fireworks displays. Melvin also assisted officers with 3 boat accident investigations in District 21. In the area of outreach, Melvin participated in the Nashville Boat Show, conducted 7 public programs, and participated in other public venues to promote boating safety. He also provided support and a safety message during the 2015 Fun Run event that highlights high-performance power boats and supports the Wounded Warrior Project. This event was held on Old Hickory Reservoir and recruited approximately 100 boats as participants. In addition to this, Melvin fulfills the need to have more enforcement presence on the water during the fall hunting seasons and other times when full-time officers are tasked with other duties. Melvin's enthusiasm for boating safety, enforcement, and outreach is demonstrated by his professional approach to the boating community. Melvin, come forward, please. Go ahead.
I think he's got his family with him. They need a picture up here in the front.
Hey, you can put it in that box for transport.
Family.
Harold, we're going to get a picture with the family.
That's a long ride back home.
Are you saying she's the boss?
Go
Just
ahead.
making
Go
sure
ahead,
you were
brother.
like
Come on.
my household.
The next award I'd like to give is to our full-time boating officer of the year for 2015. Our selection this year is Brad Bagwell. Brad is assigned also to work District 21, which is a 12-county district in Middle Tennessee, and also works under the leadership of Lieutenant Jim Hooper and Captain Dale Grandstaff. Officer Bagwell excelled in the area of law enforcement, whereas he inspected 457 boats for compliance, issued 63 court citations for violations, 15 warning citations, and administered field sobriety tests to 22 boat operators, made 10 arrests for boating under the influence. Additionally, Brad assisted other TWRA officers with 19 violations and assisted 20 boaters on the water that required immediate assistance. Brad worked patrol at 3 major public marine events in the Nashville area and worked with local metro authorities to provide buoys for marking zones at these events. Brad was also the lead investigator on 7 boating incidents and assisted on 4 others. 3 of these investigations led to criminal charges being filed. In the area of education and outreach, Brad assisted with 3 boater education classes, certifying 35 students as safe boaters in Tennessee, and assisted with the training of law enforcement officers. He participated in the Nashville Boat Show, conducted 10 public programs, and participated in other public venues to promote boating safety. Additionally, Brad participated in 1 television interview relating to safe boating. He's assisted also with the Tennessee Outdoors Youth Summit by providing instruction to high school students in the safe operation of boats. Brad Bagwell has had an outstanding year in 2015 on the water, working his primary duties as a full-time boating officer at that time in Davidson County. His primary responsibility was Percy Creek Lake, one of the busiest lakes in the country, and has also worked Cheatham Lake from Cheatham Dam through downtown Nashville all the way to Old Hickory Dam. Brad also spent a lot of his time that year connecting with over 1,000 people, working with school groups, sportsmen's groups, youth hunts, youth groups, teaching them about boating safety, hunting safety, and educating them on the importance of our agency and its mission. Congratulations, Brad, if you'll come forward. Hey, hang on to those 2 for me. That's the NASBLA stuff. Okay.
Director Carter, I believe you wanted to make a comment.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to say, since I was in all those pictures, I'll be in my booth from 4 to 6, and if you want an autograph. But I did just want to, this is the first time I can ever remember that we've ever done all the awards on the same day. We always spread them out throughout the year, different commission meetings. We thought we would do it this year for one reason, to highlight how many of our people do such good things. We have people that, and I'll miss a bunch of people here. I just wanted to, as a highlight, kind of tell you, Wes, this is his 2nd national award this year. Bill Smith got the national award last year. Roger got one this year, Roger Applegate. Alan Harrell was our Southeast Officer, Boating Education of the Year in the Southeast. Our Wildlife Officers of the Year, 4 out of the last 10 years have been the Officer of the Year in the entire Southeast, all 15 states and the 2 territories. And I know, like I said, I'll miss a bunch of other people, but those people that have been involved in that, I just wanted to point out to you that all these people were nominated, multiply that by 4, because everybody that was nominated, there was somebody just right behind them in each of the regions that were almost in this place of being the Officer of the Year. So I just want to mention all that to show you the caliber of people that we have in this agency, that they're not only great leaders inside the agency, but throughout the nation. I could go on and tell you the number of people that chair national committees and have a great influence over what goes on in the entire nation. But anyway, I just wanted to brag a little bit about the caliber of people we have and the number of people throughout the agency that do such great stuff. And we had them all together this one time so we could kind of show a highlight of what we do throughout the year, actually what they do throughout the year, that brings such great programs to the people of Tennessee. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Director Carter. For these awards to take place, there is obviously a significant commitment of the person in their efforts as well as sacrifices, personal sacrifices. What my wife and I think every commissioner at this table would also say, is that commitment and sacrifice applies to the family as well, because of all the state entities, TWRA is about family. And so if you would, join me in thanking the families who have made this possible. As we begin the committee sessions, I want to very quickly remind you of the process that this will go through. Where proclamation and/or rules are presented, either today and/or tomorrow, staff will be making a presentation. Upon a proper motion and second to approve either the proclamation or the rules, there will be discussion within the committee and the committee members only for today. After that, the chairman of that committee will be will give the public opportunity to comment. We do ask this. This is not a debate between the public and the staff. If there are any questions, if there are any comments, I very respectfully ask you to direct that to the committee chair. Once those comments are discussed and the chair believes it is appropriate, a vote will then be taken. With that, the chairman of the Fisheries Management Committee, Jim Bledsoe, is recognized.
Thank you, Chairman Cannon. The Fishery Management Committee would like to recognize Frank Fiss, Chief of the Fisheries Division. Sport Fish Proclamation.
Thank you, Chairman. Okay, let's do it. Okay, this is Proclamation 1643, Sport Fish, and I presented this information last month, and I'll present it again a little more briefly. This is where we are at in our proclamation process. We're at the end. The last month we heard public comment in regard to the presentation that was given in Pickwick. In pretty low participation in that process, about 22 comments over a variety of topics, so we didn't get a lot on any one issue. The first proposed change is on Douglas Reservoir, where we currently have the statewide regulation for hybrids and striped bass being a 15-inch size limit and 2-fish creel limit. However, on Douglas, we're not managing for hybrids or striped bass. We have some hybrids that we think are being produced in this reservoir. We want to encourage anglers to take them out and any striped bass that they get. So we're proposing that white bass, hybrid striped bass, and striped bass all be combined in one creel limit of 15 per day, which is the same as a white bass creel limit statewide with no length limit. And this is to protect the white bass fishery that's there. It's one of the better in the state. On Laurel Fork Creek, we have wild trout regulations that we need to define the upstream boundary as the U.S. Forest Service boundary as well.